An unexpected moment occurred so quickly and created great anxiety among fans. Taehyung, a figure who had always been known as calm and full of control, suddenly revealed an oddity that was considered shocking in the live session he did. The expression appeared without a sign, without an introduction, and without any preparation, as if it was released out of control. The sentence was simple, but its impact was extraordinary. Many wondered, was this merely a spontaneous expression, or was there something more serious he was trying to convey to the public? This surprise became even more complex when Jungkook, who was also involved in the atmosphere, showed a response that stunned ARMY. His expression, his gestures, even the way he responded looked full of question marks. Jungkook did not look like himself, who usually was always able to control the situation. Instead, this time, it was as if there was an emotional layer he could not hide. Questions arose. Why was Jungkook surprised? What exactly did Taehyung reveal that could change the atmosphere so drastically in just seconds? The public highlighted that the oddity Taehyung conveyed was not just a trivial detail. The sentence that came out seemed to imply the existence of something that had always been covered up, something that was never meant to be shown openly. Was this related to internal dynamics that the public had so far only been able to guess through video snippets, photo clips, and brief interactions? Or was this related to a larger tension, something that even management might not want to be exposed? Jungkook's reaction actually strengthened speculation. Instead of calming the atmosphere, he seemed frozen for a moment, as if not knowing how to act. ARMY immediately flooded social media with various interpretations. Some considered Taehyung deliberately gave a signal, while others thought what happened was nothing but coincidence. But if it was just coincidence, why did Jungkook's expression look so serious? Why did there seem to be a clear discomfort, as if a secret that had been hidden was suddenly exposed just like that? This phenomenon showed how strong the symbolic influence of every statement of an idol is. A single short sentence could cause global uproar, generate thousands of analyses, and give birth to endless speculation. Yet, did the oddity Taehyung revealed truly reflect the truth? Or was it just a slip of the tongue, something that should not have been blown up? Here lies the main dilemma. As fans, it is so easy to get trapped in emotion, especially when seeing Jungkook react in an unusual way. But as critical viewers, the question should be directed further. Were we witnessing a reality revealed unintentionally, or were we being led to a narrative deliberately built to create uproar? Was this a signal from Taehyung to convey something he had long held back, or merely the result of public interpretation that too quickly drew conclusions? Sources on TikTok, YouTube, and even Twitter were immediately filled with snippets of the moment. Short videos were spread endlessly, accompanied by texts emphasizing a big secret or a hidden signal. But how far can we trust the narrative produced by social media? A fact or just perception? The same visual recording could be understood differently by thousands of people. Some saw it as a sign of openness, some interpreted it as negligence, others judged it as a planned scenario. What made the atmosphere even more tense was the silence that was created after the statement. Taehyung indeed did not add an explanation. He let his words hang, waiting for the public, who then tried to guess. Jungkook, on the other hand, did not try to clarify, instead adding a layer of mystery with his ambiguous expression. If this was really just coincidence, why was there no immediate attempt to calm the situation? Was this very uncertainty in fact part of the message they actually wanted to convey? Many ARMY admitted to feeling a mixture of emotions between anger, confusion, and curiosity. Some felt that this oddity was Taehyung's form of courage to open something that had long been tightly closed. Others accused that this moment was a strategy to create hype, something deliberately designed to be the center of attention. The question repeated, were we witnessing a painful honesty, or merely a game exploiting the public's curiosity? This tension made the event not to be underestimated. In the world of global entertainment, every small moment can transform into a big symbol. Taehyung's sentence that seemed simple could be considered as a door to a more complex reality. Jungkook's surprising reaction could be understood as proof of something hidden. But who could guarantee this interpretation was true? Who could ensure that what the public saw really described the actual situation? It is important to remember that the information circulating came from various sources, many of which cannot be directly verified. We can see thousands of comments siding with one interpretation, but real evidence remains absent. In a situation like this, a skeptical attitude becomes even more important. Was there really a big secret uncovered? Or were we only becoming part of the whirlpool of sensationalism deliberately created? If this oddity was indeed real, why was it conveyed spontaneously in a live? Was this a form of accident, or a covert way to send a message to certain parties? Why did Jungkook instead show a response that added confusion, instead of giving certainty? These questions demand us not only to be trapped in emotion, but also to analyze more deeply. It cannot be denied that this moment has opened wide discussion. Every paragraph of comments on social platforms became an arena of speculation. Some connected it to internal dynamics, some linked it to bigger issues, and some even accused management of involvement. But was that really true? Or was this merely a reflection of the way the public is always thirsty for behind-the-scenes drama? Here lies the importance of critical reflection. When Taehyung revealed a shocking oddity, and Jungkook responded in an unexpected way, the public should not stop at curiosity. This is precisely the time to ask, was everything we saw reality, or merely a shadow of reality deliberately shown to us? Were we seeking the truth, or only becoming consumers of narratives built by collective interpretation? This phenomenon ultimately does not only speak about one moment, but also about how the public interprets information in the digital era. A sentence spoken briefly can be twisted, expanded, and made the basis of conspiracy theories. A facial expression can be considered strong evidence, whereas without clear context, its actual meaning could be very different. So, did the oddity Taehyung revealed really represent a truth, or was it merely a reflection of how the public wanted to see it? Until now, the question remains hanging. No certainty, no absolute answer. What exists is speculation, debate, and growing curiosity. Taehyung has already revealed something that shook, Jungkook has already shown a surprising response, and ARMY has already given an emotional reaction. Yet, behind all that, only one thing is truly certain. This oddity will continue to remain a mystery, at least until there is concrete evidence that can explain what actually happened. The event that occurred clearly left an emotional trace, not easily erased. Yet, behind the wave of spontaneous reactions that emerged, have we ever paused for a moment to analyze with a cool head? Did what we witnessed really reflect reality, or merely a small fragment manipulated to look dramatic? What if what we considered truth was in fact only a reflection of collective bias built by fan expectations and social media narratives? This fundamental question is important to ask because without a critical attitude, we risk becoming victims of information flows that cannot be fully trusted. Many argue that Taehyung's expression was a form of honesty that finally slipped without a filter. But is it not also possible that the moment was merely an ordinary fragment then exaggerated by interpretation? If indeed so, why did the public prefer to believe the worst possibility rather than question the validity of information? Was curiosity truly stronger than rational reason? We see how various platforms, from TikTok, YouTube, to Twitter, quickly made the moment global conversation material. Short videos, clip snippets, and screenshots were spread with sensational titles, as if they held absolute truth. But let us ask ourselves, how reliable are those visual fragments? Did we really see the whole context, or only shards chosen to strengthen one certain narrative? What if the narrative we believed was only the result of framing deliberately made to gain attention? Jungkook's response, considered the strongest proof of a serious oddity, also cannot be separated from critical analysis. A facial expression that looked tense, body movements that seemed unusual, or even the silence that was created, all were quickly made the basis of theories. Yet, did human expressions always reflect a single truth? Was it not often that expressions were merely spontaneous reflections that did not necessarily describe the actual internal reality? Was it fair if all big conclusions were drawn only from body movements that could have dozens of different meanings? These questions become even more relevant when we realize that today's digital culture pushes the acceleration of emotion. The public no longer waits for clarification, no longer tests data, but immediately consumes whatever looks dramatic. Any moment, no matter how small, can be replayed millions of times, given a provocative title, and interpreted as a big secret. But if that was true, did it reflect truth, or was it merely a form of exploiting collective curiosity? Another thing worth reflecting on is the motive behind this event. If indeed Taehyung truly wanted to convey something big, why did he choose to do it in a live atmosphere full of risk? Was this courage, or rather recklessness? If considered courage, then why did he not emphasize it with a clearer sentence? Conversely, if considered recklessness, why did Jungkook instead give a reaction that added tension? Was this pure coincidence, or was there a certain scenario being played? ARMY, as the largest fan base, also became part of this phenomenon. Their emotional reaction proved that whatever idols said or showed, no matter how small, could influence millions of people. But let us ask honestly, did excessive reactions actually strengthen the possibility that all this was merely a play of narrative? Were we witnessing an open truth, or only part of sensationalism strategy cleverly exploiting mass emotion? Skepticism is very necessary here. The information we received was not information that had gone through in-depth verification. Instead, most of it came from snippets, opinions, and comments that often were one-sided. Therefore, should we immediately believe it? Was it not possible that behind this noise there were other interests, whether from individual or collective parties, who wanted to shape certain perceptions? What if all this was merely a construct deliberately created to maintain public attention? Let us observe how similar patterns always repeat. Every time there is a live moment, there is always dramatic interpretation that then develops into a big issue. The question arises, was this really because idols always kept big secrets ready to be exposed? Or was it because the public had become accustomed to exaggerating small things to satisfy curiosity? Was it possible that we were too thirsty for drama that we ourselves created meaning behind every movement or utterance? It is also important to highlight that what we call truth, in this case, is not necessarily the same as objective reality. Reality could be very different from interpretation. Yet why did the public prefer to accept the tense interpretation rather than seek solid data? Was it because drama offered faster emotional satisfaction? Was it because uncertainty was far more interesting than boring certainty? At this point, we must challenge ourselves with provocative questions. Were we seeking truth, or only seeking entertainment? If what we sought was truth, then we should be skeptical, delay conclusions, and wait for concrete evidence. But if what we sought was only entertainment, then no wonder every small moment could become a big issue involving millions of comments. Were we ready to accept that maybe, just maybe, all this was merely part of the entertainment consumption pattern we ourselves created? The Taehyung and Jungkook phenomenon in the end was more than just a momentary interaction. It became a mirror of how modern society consumes information. It showed how narratives are built not based on fact, but based on emotion, perception, and media framing. And in the midst of all this, the biggest question remains unanswered. Was what we witnessed the truth, or merely a reflection of collective imagination deliberately magnified? Until now, the mystery remains hanging. No explanation, no confirmation, only speculation that continues to grow. Yet it is precisely in this uncertainty that we are invited to be more critical. Every reader, every viewer, must dare to ask themselves, do I truly believe what I see, or am I only following the stream of majority opinion? Am I analyzing reality, or merely dissolving in sensation that was created? One thing is certain, a skeptical and reflective attitude is the key. Without it, we will only become victims of uncontrolled information flows. Therefore, instead of swallowing every narrative raw, it is time we ask further, dig deeper, and refuse to be satisfied with simple answers. Because in a world full of manipulation, only those who dare to question everything can finally approach the truth.